Well, for more on the Japanese economy, I'm joined by Hikaru Yamagishi, live from New York, a PhD candidate from the Political Science Department at Yale University. Welcome, Hikaru.
Hi, thank you.
So how would you say that Japan's economy is faring overall, and what are the country's top priorities right now?
The Japanese economy was propped up by massive easing since 2014. But as you said earlier, in the last couple months, there's been signs of recession. The Bank of Japan for the first time, or the ministry, for the first time in more than 6 years, last month came out saying that they're seeing first signs of a recession. They actually used the word worsening, which is the worst of the 5 expressions that they use. So they were pointing to both export concerns, but also the U.S.-China trade war. So although the stock prices have been rising, there have been warning signs recently, and the Bank of Japan has reiterated its commitment to continue easing if need be.
And we've certainly seen, as with other central banks, that Japan is holding steady with rates, but it does seem ready to really give the economy a boost as needed. You touched on this a little bit, but what are the main domestic and international factors that they're watching in making their decision?
They're looking, so the ever elusive and strong commitment that the Governor Kuroda has made is the 2% inflation target. Japan has not yet reached this. Unemployment continues to be low, but really inflation is the main thing that they're looking at. And so on this side, you have a strong commitment. Recently, the governor has committed to additional easing, so interest rates measures as well as asset purchases. But on the other hand, you have the government, who has elections coming up on July 21st officially, saying that they're still committed to increasing taxes. So you have two little contradicting measures coming forth in the short term in Japan.
So with elections coming up, and obviously a lot on the minds of voters, how has the standard of living changed alongside Japan's economic recovery?
Consumers, according to polls, seem to be happy with the boost that Abe's Abenomics measures have given in terms of these macro indicators. But that doesn't mean that the distribution of income and wealth given from these measures has been equal. There's been mixed opinions in terms of what it really has meant for the average Japanese consumer and as well as producer. And these things are things that we will only really know in the long term.
Let's also talk about tech developments. How is Japan faring in the race, as well as the tensions that are arising from this sector?
Yeah, so this is one of the tricky things with the G20 starting in Osaka, is that Japan has long time been used to be foremost in many technological developments, and then it lagged. But now the government's approach seems to be to try to play this role of being a collaborator with these leading Asian leaders in the market, such as China and Korea. So that's what they're putting forth as kind of keystone measures and policies that they're working on, some being environmental technology and so on. But in terms of cheaper production, all this stuff has really gone abroad.
Now, in terms of challenges, we know that the country's aging population tends to get a lot of attention. Is that still the most significant long-term economic concern?
Absolutely. Japan's aging population has been for a while and still continues to be one of its most top concerns. It also, coupled with the aging population problem, although the government doesn't really emphasize it, is immigration. So how to deal with the changing structure of production and moving to a post-industrial economy in Japan while dealing with the demands from a different kind of labor market is one of the things to follow in Japan.
And just quickly, something else to follow. One of the key themes at the G20 in Japan is environment and energy, and Japan is expected to publicize its innovative green initiatives. How do you see Japan's role in this?
So Japan has really done, over the last 6-7 years or so, a great job of putting forth these solutions for things like natural disasters response and environmental technology. So one of the keystone projects that they're going to be, I think, focusing on at the G20 is one of their focuses is their investments in environmental solutions in Southeast Asia especially. Japan has invested 367 billion, some of the newest figures, those are pending projects compared to China's 255 in the 6 largest economies of Southeast Asia, taking the lead in these kind of environmental technologies and measures that they'll put through in terms of infrastructure as well. So it's the angle that the Japanese government wants to take is that they have quality infrastructure and technology that they have the expertise in, that they really think they can share and both benefit them and the foreign countries that they'll share the knowledge with.
All right, thank you so much. Hikaru Yamagishi, their PhD candidate from the Political Science Department at Yale University.